Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. I'm going to do a little tourist one, or even for the locals, just something to go do for an hour and a half, No real great shows this weekend, so just nothing I wanted to see for the third or fourth time and spend that kind of money. So I just kind of took it easy, but I did get antsy in the afternoon and wanted to go do something just for a little bit, just to see something new. And I always heard about this place. Didn't really know much about it. I didn't know if these were the real cars. I mean, there's no way that the real DeLorean from Back to the Future is sitting here in Vegas and in this crazy collection. But I was curious enough. It was $20, free parking. It's on Dean Martin, right by Allegiant. For those that are tourists and have no idea what I'm talking about, it's like on the other side of the freeway, just south of Mandalay Bay. That's where you'll find it. So it's pretty close to the Strip. Free parking, you get in there, and the guy was really nice. It's $20, but they have a $5 off coupon on their website, so that's a good little tip. Basically, it's 3 massive rooms. The first room's kind of small. First room just has these funky, cool old cars. Just if you're a car enthusiast or anything, just really cool to see this stuff. There's like a little path on the ground that you follow, and it takes you through everything. Then it gets you to the next 2 or 3 rooms that are big rooms. I mean, that building's really deceiving. And you just start to see, even from across the room, you start to see cars that you just grew up with. Starsky and Hutch, the Beverly Hillbillies, the Dukes of Hazzard, the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the A-Team van, Munsters, the little Dracula, the car from Hangover, James Bond. I mean, you just start seeing stuff that you just recognize right away. Right away, I also started reading the signs. So it's clear. I think maybe 1 or 2 things that were actually used in movies. I think there was like that little orange boat from Captain Phillips, and a lot of the cars were like stunt cars that were used for the stunts. They weren't the action, but still very fucking cool. I really enjoyed it. It's, like I said earlier, it's this great walk down memory lane in these beautiful, beautiful cars. Not even beautiful, they are iconic. These cars are iconic, and I can't think of like new television. I mean, a lot of TV now is and movies now, they're like reality and stuff like that. It's not a lot of iconic stuff. I think like they went out of their way back in the day to have an iconic Dukes of Hazzard car, or the DeLorean or A-Team van. This stuff was just so signature, and it was so cool to see it all. So you follow this path, and it just takes you through all these different cars, all these really beautifully presented. Each one had a little plaque explaining what this car was. This was used as a stunt. There was one really long stretch limousine that was just this, I don't think it was from a movie. It was just this nostalgic, at a hot tub in the back. And you just navigate through it, and it's really up to you, like any other museum, how long you want to spend per car. I'm not going to sit there and study each one, but the best way I can describe this experience is every time I saw the next car, I kind of smiled. And you just smiled. And it just puts you in a good mood. For my age, I'm late 40s. So to see, some of these cars, and just brings up all these wonderful memories of being a kid and just idolizing, Kit from Knight Rider, and just seeing it in front of you with the red light flashing. It just, I don't know. It put me in a good mood. I really like it. It just made me feel good. For $15, there's not a lot of things that can make you feel good. So going room to room and just seeing cars from the Flintstones, cars. You have the Bonnie and Clyde car, which I really liked. It was from the movie. It was all shot up. Really cool stuff. Really enjoyable. Then you get to the last room, and I think this is a newer addition to this. I don't know. I could be wrong. They have a Liberace room, and it's Liberace's Garage, and it's honestly awesome compared to the other stuff, which are more, stunt cars or replicas. This room was really Liberace's collection. And man, I mean, you knew this guy was crazy, but he is so eccentric and wild, and his car collection was a reflection of that. I mean, you could see it was all bedazzled. Every car was bedazzled. He had one car that was a piano on a car. He had these little golf carts. They had a couple of his pianos there. They had his bar, which I think is from his house, this beautiful bar with pianos on it. They had some of his outfits. It was the Liberace was like a bonus. Like, you went for the Hollywood cars, but you got this big Liberace exhibit at the end. And if you know anything about him, and if you don't know anything about Liberace, I highly recommend watching Behind the Candelabra on HBO. It was a great, great series they did with Michael Douglas and not Ben Affleck, the other guy, Matt Damon. And really good stuff. Really good stuff. So Liberace part was awesome. I love that. And in the back, there was like a door with a rope that you can look into their actual auto body shop or garage in the back, where you could see them actually working on a couple of these older cool cars. So very cool experience. It took me about an hour maybe to walk through it. Again, it's up to you and your whole speed. You come back around, you go through the cars again, and then you end up in a room full of Vespas. That was the final room, which was also very cool. An amazing collection. I think it's owned by a private person. I think they have a big museum in Orlando, Deezerland or something like that. Cool experience for $15. I really enjoyed it. That's why I'm doing a review. There's not a lot of things to do during the day in Vegas that don't involve gambling and stuff like that. So if you need a break mentally, if you're staying on the Strip, or you want to do something kid-friendly, they had a couple cars from the Flintstones. They had a couple of the replicas from the movie Cars. Obviously, it was a cartoon, but they rebuilt some of the cars. A lot of James Bond cars. Very cool. Very, very cool stuff. I had the car from The Hangover. I don't know if I mentioned that, with the tiger in the back. And you can look in the car and you could see, obviously it's a movie prop, but they ripped it all up like that car got beat up in that movie. So really enjoyable experience. Scale of 1 to 10. It's an easy 8, 9 out of 10 for sure. Great family experience. Good bargain price. Good way to kill an hour or two during the day. I think it's open from 10 to 5 and I recommend it. I enjoyed going. I'm happy I did it. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. Let me know if you've been there, what you thought, and I will see you at the next show. Bye-bye.